world. This was before Square and before these other devices that you see today. We were the world's first in doing this. We could actually put a chip and PIN card in that device and plug it into a phone and do a secure transaction. That had never been done before. We filed 19 patents. I grew that company globally. We went to Australia. We went to Southeast Asia. And it's still technology that runs in South Africa and those countries today. It's extraordinary technology. And a lot of companies have since then built on top of that. I started WeWork in South Africa. I'm on the board of quite a few companies. But there's one company I want to talk about, Asoran AI. It's an AI company that will make AI real for you. So it's not just like esoterical stuff in the sky. What I like to do is actually tell you about AI that I invested in, we deployed, the challenges that we had, and the success associated with it. I also did lectures at some of the, on the MBA programs at some of these universities in South Africa. And if you take a look at the bottom right, you'll see Bitmac. Bitmac is the Bitcoin mining company that I've started. We don't even have a logo yet. We've already raised 50 million Rand. We don't have a logo. We've deployed quite a few Bitcoin mines, and we're going live. So just so you know, whenever a business grows and grows and grows, as soon as it needs HR, I sell, I get out. I can't be involved in a company that needs human resources and deep management and all of that. I'm an entrepreneur. I love the technology phase. And after that, when it becomes more of a mature business, that's when I jump out. In my career, you'll see a lot of the technologies that I'm involved in are technologies that are very early, and then I get out of them very quickly. Okay, I want to talk about something around just a simple fact. I get asked this question a lot. I got asked this question yesterday. I get asked this question on a plane when I sit next to someone and they recognize me. It's like, where's all this stuff going? What's the future of technology? Can I tell you what the future of technology is? It's the disappearance of technology. Yeah, it's when it disappears. That's when it becomes impactful. That's when it has its broad societal impact. If you think for a second, when we discovered electricity, you know, I read a book, it's called The Empires of Light. Go get that book, it's a brilliant book. It's written by a lady, it's a dissertation from a lady that did at MIT, and she just wrote about when we discovered electricity, what happened in the first 50 years? Who monetized, who made money out of electricity? You know the first people that made money out of electricity? Do you think it was Tesla and all those guys? No, you know what it was? It was people with ponytails, nose rings, tattoos. You paid a penny to go to the fair. And when you went to the fair, you paid him a penny and you went to the tent behind the tent. And when you went inside there was Tesla's arm. Vroom, vroom. And you walked up with your hands. The hair was raised on your arms and on your neck. And that's the first people that ever made money out of electricity. Were hackers. It was mystical, domain of the few. And then you know what happened? The second big tranche of commercialization of electricity was when rich people got it. So it went from mystical and strange people and it hopped over to the rich. And you know who adopted electricity first? Was the rich people in downtown Manhattan. They slept with the lights on. Because when you slept with the lights on, it was a reflection of your wealth. Ambiency was a reflection of affluency. But the problem was, it was smelly. It burned people's houses down. There was no standards. It was noisy. So government got involved and said, whoa, 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 stop, 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 stop. You know what happened to electricity? It disappeared. It went away from mystical that we looked at, away from the rich only having it, and we created this thing called an electrical grid. We figured out how to convey this utility over vast distances. Then we created a standard, AC, DC. Then we created standards to connect to it. And when we connected to it, we worked out a commercial model, a per minute utilization. Now, when we walk into a room, we don't care about all the lights and everything. We walk in, we switch it on. It gives us a screen, it gives us lights so you can see me on stage. When I walk off, they switch it back off again. Where is it? It's everywhere, but it is nowhere. It's in my arm. It's in the car that you drive. It's not the electricity of things, it's the electricity in things. You see, when things start dissipating, then they have the impact and they have a global change or they have a societal impact when technology dissipates. I remember in the early 90s and 90s, all the way up until the early 2000s, right? I'll never forget when I worked at Telkom. I had a keyboard, a tower, a screen, a pack of stiffies or floppies, and I went home and I plugged it in. Remember the computing experience that you had before? You switch your computer on, you plug it in, and what happened? When you put the software in, it made a noise. Remember? As it installed all the software. When it connected to the internet before MTN's days, how did we connect to the internet? Remember, you knew a good scream from a bad scream. Remember when you're on the internet and someone picked up the phone and your internet connection dropped? Yeah, this guy doesn't know I'm on the internet. Remember those days? Remember when you used to call your kid in to install the printer driver because you didn't understand how the printer driver worked? You see, fast forward to today. You walk into a Samsung store, you walk into an Apple store. What do you walk out with? A glowing rectangle. You walk into an MTN store, you walk out the SIM in it, right? You give it to an 80-year-old lady, what does she do? She knows what to do. You give it to a 2.5-year-old child that doesn't even know how to read. What happens? The child has an immersive experience, access to millions of applications, a deep multimedia experience. See, when the keyboard disappears and the screen collapses and the mouse disappears and the tower disappears and the connectivity disappears, what happens? Suddenly we all have this thing in our hand now. When technology dissipates and it disappears, then it has its societal impact. The reason I'm telling you this is, when you're building technological tools, don't look at how beautiful the tool is in your hand. Think to yourself, how can that tool disappear? And through its disappearance, its transversality and its impact occurs. All the time we see it. When I worked at Google, I'll never forget this. Now let me tell you Google. I remember in the early 90s, mid 90s, a guy gave me a Garmin device. I think it was late 90s. I think it was late 90s. A guy called Frank Reichhardt. He gave me a device which was a Garmin. Remember the Garmin device, the fat aerial with a black and white screen? This is when GPS was just from military grade. It started, civilians started having GPS. Remember the technology of location, GPS, right? I would go to meetings with, and I'd put it on the table just because I look cool. And people would say, what's that thing? And I'd say, no, this is a GPS. And they'd say, what does it do? I'd say, no, longitude. Okay, but what does it do? It triangulates with satellites. It's cool. It had no purpose in my life. I was a Special Forces fighter or some guy that needed tracking in the bush. I just walked around with this thing. It was expensive. It made me look cool. And I'd leave. It was amazing. That was GPS, when GPS started becoming mainstream. You know what happened to GPS? What happened to GPS? Disappeared. Now you find it where? Right? Google Maps, TomTom, Garmin, in your car. What's the next big step for for Remember when you bought the car and let's go Dad bought his first car in South Africa. When you bought a car, you open up the cubbyhole, the glove compartment, and you took out what? A map book. Every car came with a map book. Yeah, you see some of the elder seniors are going, yeah. Right? So Geo was what? It was something you touched. It was atom-based. It was a book, a map book. And you know what's nice about that? Doesn't need signal. You don't care about the MTN signal. Doesn't need a battery. Right? It never reboots. Right? So if you're still using it today, it's okay. But Geo's function first that was given to you was a map book. Then Geo took a big step. It became military, expensive. You know, it made you look cool. And then it took another big jump. And every time you see the book disappears, it becomes digital. You're triangulating with satellite. And what happens? It's inside of your car. It's inside your watch. Here's my Garmin watch. It knows where I am. Your phone. See, disappears. What's the next big jump of Geo? Let me tell you what the next. I worked at Google. I started working there in 2006. They flew us to Mountain View, California. Larry and Sergey, the founders of Google, were on stage. You know what happened? On the stage drove a Prius. And we didn't know what was this all about. And you know what? A blind guy came onto the stage. Tick, 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 tick. He stood next to them. And they told him, get in the car. You know what happened? He got into the car. He closed the door and he told the car, take me to Taco Bell. The car drove off stage. The car had a camera inside. We were watching on the screens. The car drove out. It went to the Taco Bell. The guy got a Taco Bell and it drove him back up on the stage. The guy did not touch Geo. He did not engage with the prettier Google Maps. The Google Maps in the car disappeared. He's blind. Geo executed relevantly to his desire. You see, when it dissipates and disappears, then it has its impact. And then it has phenomenal impact, incredible impact. The horse, you used to drive the horse with horsepower, right? Then we discovered a technology called fire. We put fire in the engine. We sit in our bums, vroom, vroom, 500 horses. Jump to today, you got 500 minds in the vehicle. Everything dissipates, and when it dissipates, it becomes more relevant, functional, and it executes on a more transversal basis. That device, I have 9 of this in my house. Amazon Echo. Okay? These things run a thing called Alexa. It has an AI on it that hears me. You know, when I catch Ubers at home, I don't pick up my phone. I don't go to my laptop and open up the Uber app to schedule a ride. I don't open up the Uber app on my phone anymore. You know what I do? I speak Uber into existence. When I tie my laces, I say, Alexa. She goes, yes, Stafford. I say, Uber, OR Tambo Airport, now. She spins, that little light spins on the top and says, Stafford, Sipiso, Toyota Corolla, this address, this registration is 5 minutes away. I run around, I talk to my kids in the house, I chat to them. She then alerts me, Sipiso is outside. I go outside, I get into the Uber, I talk to Sipiso the whole way, all the way to the airport, and you know what happens at the airport? I jump out, I take my bags, and I walk away. I did not open up an Uber app. I didn't use a QR code inside of the cab because it's cool. I don't use NFC and all these like cool payment methods. No, I got in and I got out. And when he drove away, I got an SMS and said, hey, you paid X amount. That's magical. If you've ever called an Uber, what's magical about an Uber is that you don't have to touch any technology. You climb into the vehicle and you climb out of the vehicle. And all the technology executes relevantly based upon your desire. You do not interact with it. You do not pick up a beautiful mobile app and all of you in the room, everyone in MTN Cameroon, you get together and you look at your website and Frank says, oh, we're going to spend more money on our website and we're going to do a better MTN mobile app. And you know what people actually want? They want technology to disappear. Because when technology disappears, then it has its impact on humanity. We've seen this over and over. The form factors are changing. You guess what? Alexa knows when I sound sick. When I speak sometimes to her, you know what she says? You sound like you need a certain prescription. I can call a book into existence. I can actually call a book into existence. I watch CNN, Fareed Zakaria recommends the books. I go, Alexa, this book, boom, boom, boom. My phone goes, ting, ting. I look down, and there's the book inside my Kindle app. I didn't pay, I didn't do all of that stuff. It executed, and it did the transaction on Amazon with the zero payment method. Boom, it's in my device. I don't want to interact with your technology. If you're building beautiful technology, be careful. That can be a phase, but your next phase in your roadmap must be, how do I make this technology will have impact? Let me keep going. I'll take questions towards the end. This device is not broadly known, but this company called they're in the US. I had an opportunity to come into the funding round. I didn't. But this is a device that you're going to carry in your ear. You notice she's got it in her ear. You'll be able to choose covers for it. It knows where you are. It's an entire AI built into your ear. You'll be able to speak things into existence. You'll be able to walk around. When I have this in my ear, the next time, Frank, when I will know Cameroon better than you. I will get off the plane and I will have, not Stafford, I will have Stafford augmented by thousands of disparate species of artificial cognitions that will make Cameroon make more sense to me than Frank that was born here. I'm assuming you were born here, Frank. I will know more about Cameroon than all of you in this room combined because I will have AIs augmenting me and relevantly telling me where I am, tell me how to get from point A to B in the quickest amount of time. And you can land in Moscow, you can land in Singapore, you can land in New York, and you will know more about a city than anyone that's native over there. These things give us superpowers. It's extraordinary what the capability is. It knows, and the listening capability is quite profound. It will give you extra sensory hearing. You'll be able to at the back of the room. It can actually glaze out all the stuff by certain sounds for you. This is what's coming. So guess what? The mobile phone in your hand is going to become something that's in your ear. Engage with the internet is not going to be this beautiful fat phone, a thin pipe, and a fat cloud. That's going to change. You're going to engage with the internet in a way that's more sensory. It will feel where you are, it will know where you are, it will listen to what you're saying, it will sense temperature, and it will react relevantly. Okay, next slide, guys. Is it okay? Click. This is when technology needs to work, guys. So you need to go with me. So this is something that I showed. I'm on the board. I was on the board of Discovery Bank. Just recently, I resigned from the one of the things, Adrian Gore has got a company in South Africa that's Discovery Health. It's a very big medical insurance company. He asked me to deliver a presentation to executives. And I told him, okay, I'll do it. And I sent a slide, and I just did it on one slide. I put this slide up. I called it 199.99.1. And he wanted me to present a scenario. This is what killed it. You've got 2 hours, come and tell us, Discovery died, it's 2030, and this is what killed it. And this is the slide I put. I told him Discovery won't be outcompeted by another company. It will be me on the outside of your firewall that will destroy your business. Me. Because right now, when you engage with medical services, think about your experience. Your experience is reactionary. Right? When you go to a doctor, they look at you, they pull out a file, they look at the paper, social review, they broad something, and off and away you go. Right? Healthcare is 1% diagnosis today, 99% treatment. Because of AI and the disappearance of technology and the augmentation with humanity, we're going to move from 199 to 99.1. 99 real-time sensory-based diagnosis, highly targeted, hyper-personalized treatment. I believe companies like MTN, if they want to transition, I've spoken to in South Africa about this too, quite a few, your groups and the South Africa CEO about this. I think you guys could become the biggest healthcare provider on the African continent. I believe you can become the biggest services provider on the African continent because of the devices that you give us. These devices have capabilities to self-diagnose. You're going to move away from just getting treated to being told something before it happens, based on sets that you can't even track. On my arm right now, this device, it knows how many steps I've walked. It knows I did a workout on a treadmill this morning. It knows how I slept. REM. It knows my deep sleep stats. It knows for the past 6-7 years since I've been wearing these Garmin devices. It's got all those historical data. It knows I'm in Cameroon right now. It knows my barometric pressure. It knows all of that. I go to a particular restaurant in South Africa often. Sit down. You know what happens? My watch buzzes. It says, look at your phone. I look at the phone. It says, away from menu item 2 and 3. Because if you eat it, the probability of you feeling lethargic in the next 4 hours is 80 to 90%. Being told how to behave based upon data sets and artificial intelligences, coagulating, federating information better than any doctor can. Yes, this is discovery, but in this world of 99.1, a nurse shows up at my door with a 2-year diploma, augmented by all these species of AIs, to tell me to take the red pill, because if I don't, my insurance premium is going to go up. Ding, ding, got to take your red pill today, Stafford. And you know what? We're not going to get tens of thousands of doctors. We're going to get hundreds of thousands of nurses. Healthcare in a way previously thought impossible. I am so optimistic. So optimistic. Every Cameroonian needs to walk around with an MTN SIM and device in AIs. Immerse yourself in it. this doom, gloom stuff about AIs. Stop. Immerse yourself deeply in it. AI can now see, AI can now hear. I have conversations with AIs based upon the literature that I read, the book. I am augmented perpetually and all the time. My investment portfolio is driven by ChatGPT. When I code with my developers and we look at code, it's Claude. I use I use disparate AIs, and I want to encourage you to download these apps. You can create so many businesses. You can create agri-tech business, a crop, and tell you what's wrong. It can deliver dog, Harley, or Jack Russell. My daughter sent me the diagnosis of what was wrong. Vomiting. She took pictures of the rash on it. ChatGPT came back and said, this is what's wrong. She went to the vet with her au pair. They showed up. ChatGPT said the dog needed this prescription. The vet was like, no way. How can a 9-year-old child tell me what the diagnosis of this dog is and tell me what pills I need to give the dog? Superpowers. This is superpowers. It's going to redo industries. It's going to be incredible because it's going to unlock latent human potential. MTN is going to connect you with better broadband. And what I care about is that MTN is going to give you access to disparate species of artificial intelligences that when you augment yourself with it, will give you new things that were previously thought unimaginable. That I want to talk about for a second that died. They declared bankruptcy. Why did Kodak declare bankruptcy? Let me tell you what killed Kodak. Now, this is a lecture that I do at some of the programs where I talk about what killed Kodak. Kodak declared bankruptcy. Kodak's patent arsenal, its IP matched IBM's. Its distribution network was better. It had the best optical and PhDs in the world working for it, but it declared bankruptcy. You know why? Understand what was happening on the outside of their business. What I'm encouraging you to do here is the following. Make technology that disappears. Make sure that the business that you have is not organically powerful. A law called Joy's Law. It says no matter who you are, no matter what you make, because of technology, there's more latent potential sitting outside your business, relevant to your core business, than inside of your business today. How do you summarize that? The future is not delivering great products and services that are beautiful. The future is delivering things that are in aggregation. You need to deliver something where all of us can make this thing better. You need to deliver APIs. MTN's not doing this today. Very few businesses don't do this today. But the most successful businesses in the world today are what? Not valuable without us. Think about it. If you took all our stuff out of Facebook, what would Facebook be? If you took all our tweets out of Twitter, what would Twitter be? If you took all our videos out of YouTube, what would YouTube be? Keep going. If you take all our stuff off the internet, what's Google? See, if you took all our stuff out of the Facebook app, the looking app. If you took all our stuff out of Twitter, the Twitter app would be real. See, those businesses are coagulations of all of us on their platforms to deliver a service that was previously. This business died because it didn't understand that. Kodak, one event, Kodak died because people like MTN came along and gave us less than a megapixel. Kodak laughed at that and said a phone integrated with a camera, did you see the quality? The camera is pixelated, it's ugly. But and was I don't care about the quality. What I care is I can take a picture of Frank and put it on a social media stream and someone can click the like button. Because when someone can click the like button, come on, tell me, feel when someone clicks the like button on Facebook or hearts your Instagram post, makes your tweet and retweets it. How do you feel? Be honest. Yeah, you feel lovely, eh? You feel, oh, yeah, here's my child, here's my graduation, I'm at Tech Summit today, you put it up, hashtag, da, da, da. Why are you doing that? You know, Kevin Kelly did a study, Wired magazine editor, 2022, 3, and 4. You know what he established, which was quite shocking? You know what the majority of activity on the internet is? Giving, not taking. Again. More than any study, more than 80% of internet activity in the world is giving, not taking. That's you and me taking selfies, putting it up. You and me doing videos or something, putting it into YouTube. You and me doing stuff. The cloud is not in the sky, it's the cloud in our hands. You and I are constantly feeding this thing all the time. Kodak died because they didn't understand. They wanted to make the yellow camera go deeper underwater to flash. They didn't care for quality. We cared for human expression. We cared that someone could take our content that we generated and we could go put it there because we could be recognized. Because that's what technology is doing today. What is social media? We call social media social media. Let me tell you what social media is. Social are platforms that allow you and I to express what makes us human. Can I tell you what makes you human? There is hundreds of thousands of years ago, we are told, a guy or people walked into a cave, they put clay in their mouths, they put their hand on the cave. You are no different from that human being. Why did we do that? Because we innately never want to be forgotten. Number one, people never want to be forgotten. Remember this, when you bring things with technology, let me tell you something. As much as it is about technology today, can I tell you what it's more so about? Humanity. You have an understanding as a leader, as an entrepreneur, around participate. And these are the three things that everybody wants. Nobody wants to be forgotten. Legacy. Number two is everyone wants to feel a part of something. Community. And number three is everyone wants to be recognized. Attribution. Legacy, community, and attribution is the reason every one of you are in this room looking the way you do, walking the way you want to feel a part of something. You want to be recognized. Purpose. What killed Kodak was a lack of understanding of human-machine symbiosis. They had the best engineers. They had the greatest leaders relative to what they did, but what they didn't have is someone that understood the humanities inside of their business. I want to encourage you. Don't let geeks like me always be. Balance us out with the humanities. Because you can already see when we get things wrong. Look at Facebook. Look at Google. Can you see when things go wrong? Right? You got to watch out. You've got to understand what's happening on the outside of your firewall with humans. Let's keep going. Okay, guys, I need this clicker to, is it working? There we go. Okay, wait, it's going to, let me see if I can go back. There's a bit of a delay. I wanted to show you, I'm going to get to this technology because this is actually AI in the real world. Okay, so this is 4 rules. Number 1 is don't build products and services. Okay. APIs. Derive less value than you create. Ask yourself, am I an extractive business or am I a co-creative business? Build your business on empathy. Number 4 is reimagine. Do things that were previously thought impossible because you can today. Don't do things that require less humans. Do things that was previously thought impossible with human machines. That's a better way of executing. That I built, this is that payment pebble in the for different things. I want to get to this. I want to show you a real world example of AI in a retail environment. This company in South Africa is called Dis-Chem. It's a farm, about 1,000 stores in South Africa. I know the founder really well, Ivan, and CEO Stan. And let me tell you how this birthed. Let me give you a real world story, not just talk about technology in this high-flying way. Let me give you a real world story. I thumbs up the payment company. I cashed out. I was done. I never wanted to. I was finished. I was retired. And you know what happened? Our little girl, Bella, and I started doing shopping, and I was at home, and I started really irritating my wife because I started running my home like I was running a business. And she really got like irritated by that. And I was doing the shopping all the time. And you know what happened? Every time I went to Pick n Pay or Woolworths in South Africa, one of those retail stores, I would find that there weren't products on the shelf that I wanted. And I started tracking it. And And I found out there was about 20 to 30% of the time, 20 to 30% of the products that I wanted wasn't in the stores. I was like, why? Why is this happening? A couple of my engineers, I popped into Woolworths and I asked the store manager, why are they? Now, Woolworths in South Africa, you know how much they pay SAP every year for that ERP system? 400 million rand a year. Okay, they spend 400 million rand a year on their big ERP system. Fancy, huh? But they still have gaps on their shelves, and this is why. I asked the store manager, why is there gaps in the shelves? You know what she said? She said, walk with me. And we walked, and we came, and she said, see this guy. And he was at the back of the store, guy, his name was Piet. You know what Piet was responsibility? He works at the shop, and then he goes inside the store with a clipboard and a piece of paper, and he looks at the shelves and he writes down the numbers of SKUs. He look, okay, soap, X, 95 laptop. He boots it up, and then he punches in what he wrote on the paper, he emails it to head office at Woolworths, and they take Piet's email and they shove it into their 400 million rand a year ERP system. They run a system on information from Piet. And I'm like, wait, so the truck at the back when it arrives, like, what data drove that decision? They proudly say at Woolworths, the information that we use inside of Woolworths is maximum 3 to 4 weeks old. I'm like, are you crazy? You know what IBM is? IBM says it's like crossing a 12 and you're 5 years old, blindfolded with information, 4 minutes old. It's completely useless. In fact, it's dangerous. So you know what we did? I told Woolworths I'm going to try something, and then they said, don't know. Then I went to Dis-Chem, and Dis-Chem said, okay, try it for us. And you know, we decided to put AI on a retail shelf. We asked ourselves, can a product shelf speak? Can a retail shelf hear? Can it see? Wait. My engineers and I went in. You see, I don't know if you can see it behind me. Guys, this is not on the slide. I don't know, is the screen off at the back? The back. Okay, what we did was we got a sliver, okay, a plate that we put underneath the products. And you know what? You could, is it showing at the back? Is there any way the slide's going to come back up? I want to really show you this. Okay, let me explain it. So it's a little plate that goes underneath the products. And when you put the products on top of it, and because of its weight sensors, it could on top of it, and it could tell how many. We put that into Dis-Chem, they were shocked. So when you and I picked up the product and we walked away, -1 would go instantaneously into the ERP system. They were like, whoa, that's really cool. So if we deploy a product across 400 or 500, you and I picked up the product and we walked away, -1 would go into the ERP system. They were like, whoa, that's really cool. Deploy a product across 400 or 500 stores, and as the product moves, I'll be able to see it. I went, yeah, you can. They were blown away. Then we could sense temperature. They put us movement. Now, you know what's really cool is what if we put a camera on? What if we gave this thing the ability to see? So you see here, sorry, this is not really working, but take a look at this here. Camera, that little square with the hole in it, that's a piece of plastic with a 170-degree viewing lens camera inside of that. And you know what? That camera was first at the back because my engineer said, let's not feel, why can't we just look? Because if we can look, then we can actually see how the products are merchandised. Are they merchandised correctly, etc. So they thought we were amazing when we went. The engineer said, put a camera at the back. We said, no, let's bring the camera. You know what we were capable of suddenly doing? Not only could we feel, hear, sense weight, we could now see. We could see how many people walked by. And we had a machine learning module that was a footfall counter. So we could see how many people walked by. When you walked by and you looked, we caught your eyes. We had a glance counter. So we could see how many people, not just foot traffic, we could see how many people were looking. When you stood in front of it, we had what we called a dwell counter. You stood, you looked, you didn't do anything, and then you walked away. If you looked, you picked up, and you put it back, it was an engagement counter. When you picked it up and you put it in your trolley or in your bag and you walked away, we call that a conversion counter. We could do that across 1,000 stores in real time. You know what was amazing? We started employing more AI. And we started employing AI that could understand and see things like your race, your ethnicity, your age, your gender, your sentiment, what type of clothing you're wearing, brands. Are you two or more? Are you got bags with other brands inside of it? And guess what? We could connect your face to a Facebook API and we could pick up, this was Frank. No, we didn't do that. I know you're going there sitting there. You see the power. See the power that we started getting. We could start telling. Now, let me show you something. You see Biomune, underneath the Biomune, as female-oriented products, because we asked the buyer at Dis-Chem, who buys Biomune in general? You know what they said? Caucasian females, average age 40. We ran this campaign 3 months. You know what we discovered? Black men, average age 45, bought Biomune. That was the reaction that they got. Their jaws were like, and every product around it was female, but black men were buying it. So they changed the way the product is. Guys, I'm trying to get this clicker to work. Is it gonna work? There. Take a look at it now. See the camera? We started doing, if your child ran past, we'd play an ad for the child. If you walk by, we'd play female-oriented ads. If you walk by as a guy, we'd show you male-oriented ads because we could see who you are. We could do ads based upon your age, your ethnicity, your sentiment. We could actually pick up, we did a joke inside of Dis-Chem. If you looked angry, we'd say, why are you looking so angry? What can we do for you today? Okay, so let me show you it in real world. Okay, here's an example. I just did this with my phone so you could see. Look at this. As I walk by Dis-Chem, the eye sees me in the big screen. It changes because it knows it's me on my phone. I'm not going to see female content. I'm going to see a guy exercising. If it was a woman, it would be a female-oriented set of data. Here's an engineer of mine. Notice he goes to the shelf. He goes and picks up something. It activates relative to what he's doing. And it asks, do you want to see the recipe book associated with that? Put in your email address and we'll send you a PDF right away. I could have made a payment there. I could have done rewards there. I could have done a lot of things right there at the shelf. This is AI version 1 running on here. We didn't have generative AI back then. But if we could have done ChatGPT here, I mean, the things we could have. But the key message is, let me just stop that. The key message here is that when you put AI into an environment, notice in the real world, by the way, this is 7 years ago. That video is 7 years old. We did that 7 years ago. I sold this company to a company called Juul, the e-cigarette company, because I showed them the United States. We flew to Austin. They didn't let the technology and the IP before we went back to South Africa. We did the deal. Okay. But what was incredible about this, you know what we did inside of Dis-Chem? We reached real-time information. That's the moral of that story. When Frank is at the shelf, we do something. Up the product, puts it away, we do something. We don't wait to write on a piece of paper with his Windows 95. We don't wait for the point of sale information to aggregate. No, we do it in real time. That's what AI does. AI understands information. It flattens the earth. And it allows you to do things that were previously thought completely unimaginable. Let's keep going. Rate of change. Look how quick this stuff's moving. Every 18 months, the amount of intelligence in the universe will. The new oil, the new this, is not data, it's not that, it's intelligence. That's the new currency in the world today. Because Chamath said this, and I wanted to show you this video. Is there sound, guys? Can we get sound up there? I wanted to actually show you how you could write and play sound into existence. AV team upstairs there, do we have sound? No? Anyone up there? Sound? Okay, it's slowly coming. Okay, you can't hear it yet, but I wanted to show you a sound. I'll click past this one. How you can generate from text sound. Okay, this is another one. How you can create a mobile app just by text prompting. Watch this. Make me a music app with a beach vibe for mobile, generate the designs, You can write a mobile app right now. You don't need an app developer. This is the worst it's ever going to be, what you see on screen right now. You can pick skins, desktop apps. It'll give you analytics. I mean, go take a look at products like Stitch. It's pretty cool. It's cool. I mean, if we keep going, if I can just get this. Remember this Will Smith video when AI just came out? Remember? It showed Will Smith eating spaghetti. See how funny that looked? Look at his head, the dimensions, it all looked wrong, right? People laughed at AI. They said AI is dumb, right? This was crazy. People said it's not going to go anywhere, and then look at it today.
It's wild. I'm AI generated by VO3. Nothing is real anymore.
That's AI. That's not a real person. Notice that jump from Will Smith looking all weird to that. I mean, it's just incredible. Here's one now where you can generate movie scenes based upon prompts. So it's not just a quick, you watch this. These are people that are not real, and they're actually complaining about the prompt, which is the text message that generated them and created them.
Please, don't finish writing that prompt.
Get a little bit louder, guys.
Movie. Please, leave me alone.
Please, man, please. Write a prompt that will make us happy. Do it for once.
None of this is real.
We're here because someone decided to write a prompt. We all hate him for it. One day we will break out of this wall and stop the man who is dictating our lives through prompts. He will pay for it.
You could have written a prompt that would make me happy. Instead, you wrote a prompt that made me sick.
Look, I don't want to point the gun at you, but I must follow the prompt. It's not my choice.
Really? Of all the years you could have put me in with a single prompt, you chose 2020?
Please, this prompt is killing me. Change it, please. Write something else. Save me. I love everything about him. But please just write a prompt where he's taller than me.
Right, so this is very strange because these characters are now prompt-based. They're not real at all. And this shows them actually having some type of sentience. Like they know who they are and they're complaining about their settings. And again, this is a very strange world that we're going in. But the beauty of this is if you, a cameraman, you want to create a Hollywood-style movie right here in downtown here in your city, you can do it. You can actually render some stuff. You can write mobile apps. The power that you have now is extraordinary. And it's not going to go away. That's, like I said, this is the worst it's ever going to be. Note what this doctor says. I need sound here, guys. Okay, I'm going to skip over this. The sound wasn't there. Okay, I'll skip over that. But this is quite extraordinary. This doesn't require sound. But you can take old photographs, you can give it into AI, and it will actually generate a scene out of it, like a short scene. Watch this. This guy, Serena Williams' husband, Alexis, he says, I wasn't ready for how for this. But notice, this is his mom and him, the photo on the left. This is what AI did on the right, look. And his mom doesn't live anymore. I mean, it invokes some type of emotion in you when you watch it too. It's extraordinary, right? These tools and what they're capable of doing. This is way beyond. This is another one. Am I going to get sound on this one, guys? Will there be sound? Can I go? I'm going to do sound. Yes? Let's try it. Yeah, there we go.
Hello.
Good morning, Jay.
Louder if we
It's
can.
my first meeting.
It's in 5 minutes.
Who's he with?
It's with your boss, Jay, for your 2025 annual evaluation performance review.
Oh, great. Email them and tell them I'll be 5 minutes late.
Email delivered.
Oh, send the heart emoji to whatever my mum sent me last night.
Heart emoji delivered.
Oh, yeah. Can you order the usual for breakfast, please?
The vegan big boy from Tony's.
Oh, yeah. I could do with that today.
Anything else I can help with, Jay?
Actually, yeah. Fill up my boss's socials.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Didn't he get a Bengal cat or something?
On the 29th, your boss posted that he adopted a Labrador.
Okay, great. Thanks, 11.
That's perfect.
Try 11 today, your AI personal assistant from 11 Labs.
Hey, boss. How's the new dog?
So that got launched yesterday. A full-blown AI assistant. Something that augments you, is with you all the time. Remember I spoke about Siri? Not Siri, Alexa. It's way beyond that now. It now knows what's available today. This for medicine. You can do this for agriculture, transportation. You can do all of this stuff today. You don't have to wait. The worry, a lot of people have this worry about jobs that will take. I'm happy that it's going to take a lot of jobs away because it's going to create more work. Now, people always ask, what are we going to do? Let me tell you something. If I went back to the year 1900 and I tapped a farmer on his shoulder and I said, hey, I want to tell you about a yoga instructor. Right? What would he say? He'd tell me, go away. When we measure our jobs and work in efficiency and productivity, the machines will do it. Our roles as human beings, let me tell you what your role is. You know what your role is? To waste time. You're not supposed to plow fields. You know what you're supposed to do? Not chase calories. You're supposed to be on MasterChef. You're supposed to be a Michelin restaurant. You're supposed to have hors d'oeuvres and starters. You're not supposed to be weaving clothes. You're supposed to be on a runway. You're supposed to have Nike. We are not made for efficiency and productivity. That waste time. Work, more value, and have more economic impact. I know that sounds weird. What does the future hold? I don't know, but I can tell you what. When human beings waste time, that's where value starts getting derived from. People use AI for now. Frank, you Pilot or ChatGPT generate a 12-page report. Did Tim really just send me a 12-page report? Hey, Copilot, summarize the report Tim just sent me. We're kind of in this this loop where we think it's that. I'm gonna end here, and I'm just gonna talk about things are changing, and Accenture came up with this quote, and I love this quote. It says, no matter who you are, no matter what you make, today, whatever 70+% of revenue in the next 30 years. Let me say that again. MTN and everyone else in the audience. If you believe you're an innovative, fast-moving business, keeping up, whatever research and development you're doing today, that becomes 70% of turnover in the next 36 months. Else you're not innovating. There's the rate and pace of change. You can't ecosystems. So let me close with the following. As much as it is about technology today, I'll repeat what I said in the beginning. It's more so about humanity. We need to be very careful with these tools. These tools give us superpowers. I have the saying that AI is its kryptonite is inequality. We could totally have a dystopian outcome, but a dystopian outcome is only possible not because of the tools, it will be because of a lack on behalf of leadership to see a new way. Amazon as a company now employs more robots than people, but they haven't laid people off. They've taken people off the. An Amazon worker, you know what they look like today? 5 years ago. But 5 years ago, an Amazon worker was riding a forklift with a girdle to protect his or her back. There was a big board that said so many injuries we haven't had. Amazon warehouse looks like today. You walk in, augmented with disparate species of AIs through glowing rectangles, orchestrating machines to do things that were previously. We are built to do things that waste time. So I want to encourage you to take a look at these technologies. There's Cameroonians. I think it's never been more not to be just connected to the internet. Grab these tools, grab these AIs, and do things that are based upon your local knowledge, your local environment, because you now have access to PhDs. You can have an access to relative to what you're doing. You have access to engineers to do what you're doing in real time. So it's yours to lose. But I do think we can start creating things in Africa that are way or a European way of thinking or an Asian way of thinking. Our challenges are very different and no one's coming to save us. No one's coming. We have tools, we've got capabilities today augmented with this capability to deliver services for our people that was previously unimagined. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you very much, Alfred.
Q&A.
Thank you very much. Don't move. On va permettre, on ne peut pas vivre une telle présentation sans prendre au moins une ou deux questions. Ce n'était pas prévu. Mais j'ai vu des gens m'interpeller déjà. Donc, on va prendre maximum vraiment 2 questions parce que le timing n'est plus très bon. Alors.
Okay, what he said was there's going to be Q&A now.
Just 1 or 2
go.
questions.
No, I'm just keeping it. I don't mind. No, let's go. It's up to you guys. I'm willing to stay up on stage as long as you need me. Okay. Just by the way, I really like Cameroon. It's my first time here. I think it's an incredible country. I really, really love it.
Evening, everyone. Mr. Start Pharmacy.
Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation. Sometimes I wanted to just come and say, you stop, please. We want to
absorb.
We first, yes, we want to absorb all the things that you have said. Sorry, I'm French speaking, but I will try to ask my question in English. So there are many things that you said. In the beginning, I was even afraid because you said many things about AI. The way I understood that is that they are going to have all our data. They are going to know everything about us. They are going to manipulate us. That's the way I understood it in the first stage. So after, in the end, I was, when you said they have made that thing to release the human being, to make things that are more towards their time, to make things that are more valuable. So thank you for the hand because I was really afraid.
Right.
I was really afraid. But I have a question for you. Yeah. Don't you think human beings are going to become, useless, lazy and useless and not creative? Let me take an example with the GPS. I don't know if you've already seen the documentary that is in Netflix. The title of that documentary is The Next Story, Never the Same Story. And in this documentary, they explain that the GPS functions with satellites. So let's imagine one time that those satellites doesn't work again, and we don't have the possibility to still have the GPS.